All right, Shalom. This is Brother Gabar of the Lions Den Camp. And before I hop into this lesson, I'm going to give all praises to the Most High in the true Hebrew names and in the Hebrew tongue. So called Halayim, Le Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Ha Rakah Kodash Ma'amah. Double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS. All right, double honors to my elder as well. And Shalom to you, brothers and sisters, pushing and keeping this truth and faith and sincerity into the end, man. All right. And I'm hot right into it, coming on the book of Sirach, chapter 33 and verse 14. And it says, good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly, man. All right? Because that's what this thing is all about, man. You know, wickedness versus righteousness. And, going all the way back to Jacob and Esau, man. Esau, the so-called Caucasian race, set up to be the wicked, along with these other nations. But, primarily Esau. And Jacob, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans set up to be the righteous, man. You know, but 2/3 of our people, they have chosen to follow behind the ways of our enemies, man. Primarily Esau. You know, and they have, and in doing so, they have become enemies against the Lord, man. So against in this spiritual warfare, they would be set among with the evil, man. You know, they have taken a side with evil, with death, with the sinners, man. Meanwhile, that hopeful elect, the one sincerely in this truth, man, we take up that stand, with the good, with life, all right, with the godly, man. Because this is a spiritual warfare, man. Life versus death. And again, 2/3 of our people have chosen the side of death, man. You know? All right. And with that, I'm going to hop to this next precept. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 28, verse 15. All right. And it says, because because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement, man. All right, and that's the main point I wanted to get, because that's 2/3 of our people, man. They have made a covenant with death, man. You know, everything of this world, is against Yahweh Hashem Shah, man, in the ways of the scriptures. Therefore, it is death, man. It is no life in it. Being in this world is death, man. And primarily speaking, pertaining to our people, what I'm saying? Even if you look at so-called black culture, man, black culture is death, man. The food is all abominable food, man. You know, the music nowadays is all promotes death. You know, everything of this world, man, that our people choose to partake in is literally death, man. And it says, because we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement, man. So not only have our people made a covenant with death, man, they choose to dwell in and participate in death. You know what I'm saying? It says, and with hell we are at agreement. You know what I'm saying? So they agree with, the wickedness and, the death and everything that's pushed in this society, man, in this captivity. They agree with it. And you could see that on a day-to-day, man. You clearly see, that 2/3 of Jake, they agree with everything that's going on, because, you know what I'm saying, you tell them this truth and it rub them the wrong way, man. Because they are in agreement with hell, man, and with death. They are in agreement with our enemies and oppressors, man. Primarily Esau, the so-called Caucasian race, man. They'll say they hate these people, but then they partake and do everything that these people have conditioned our people to do, and proudly, man. I'm gonna get that again, because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement, man. All right. So 2/3 of our people have made a covenant with death, man, and are at agreement with the hell that we are in, man. Regular 2/3, Jake, man, they love America. They love this captivity, man. Because they don't see the bigger picture. They don't see what this place really is and what it really means for the children of Israel, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Man, this place is meant to be a chastisement unto us, man. A captivity, but 2/3 of our people take pleasure in it. You know, they love the things of this world, man. You know what I'm saying? Henceforth, going back to that life and death, man. The hopeful elect, the ones in this truth. You know what I'm saying? We see that this place is death. Everything pushed here is death, man. Spiritual death, which is ultimately gonna lead to that physical death and destruction and judgment. All right. And in this hell and in this death, man, we choose to follow life, man. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. You know what I'm saying? In these scriptures, man, abiding in this truth. And that naturally makes us enemies with 2/3, man, you know, along with these other nations. You know what I'm saying? Because they fighting for death, we fighting for life, man. All right. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, and verse 19. And it says, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you. All right. So, you know, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man, he sees all of this, you know. And it says, I have called heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessings and cursings. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live, man. All right. It says that I have set before you life and death, man. All right. You know, death is the ways of this world, man. You know, and that life is this truth, man. The knowledge and wisdom of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. All right. And it's being set before our people, man. But you continue to see that they rather choose death, man. You know, because out on the highways and byways, you know, when we teaching on the streets, they walk right past. They don't even bat an ear. They just walk right past. Don't make eye contact. You know, they continue to walk in death. You know, when life is yelling at them in their ear, man, literally. You know, and also, you know, social media, man, you post something of the truth and they'll skip right over it, scroll right past it, and continue to look at the folliness of this world, man. You know, or you tell a loved one or a family member and they go in one ear and out the other, and they back doing what they was doing before, man. You know, dwelling in death, completely disregarding life, man. You know, again, which is Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, and the knowledge and wisdom and understanding of these scriptures, man. All right, it says, I have set before you life and death, blessings and cursings. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live, man. All right. And again, man, they do not, it says, therefore choose life, man. And you can clearly see again that 2/3 of our people do not choose life, man. All right. That both thou and thy seed may live, man. So they do not choose that life, but they rather choose death. You know what I'm saying? And we're not choosing that life. You know what I'm saying? Choosing to dwell in death. You know, they remain spiritually dead, which is ultimately going to lead to that physical death, man. You know, whether it's by way of these martial art troops, you know what I'm saying, being put in these concentration camps, whether it's by the famines or, you know, these plagues that's going to befall this place, you know, or if the Lord preserve them to get hit by them nuclear missiles, man. You know, and it's a way out of all of that, man. You know, being Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man, and his men, the prophets, hearkening unto this word, the knowledge and wisdom and understanding of these scriptures, man. But again, our people continue to choose death, man, rather than life. All right, because this is a spiritual warfare, man. It's a war going on, and 2/3 of our people are on the wrong side, man. So-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, 2/3 of them are on the wrong side of this battle, of this war. You know what I'm saying? They have taken up arms, you know, with death, with the wicked, man, with the enemies of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. You know, primarily Esau, but also these other nations. Therefore, they have become enemies to the Lord, man. All right. It's the book of Ezekiel, Salakia, chapter 9. I'm going to start at verse 5, at verse 4, Salakia. All right, and it says, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof, man. All right, and I brought this out because those ones that's gonna receive that mark, which is the mark of exemption, man, is that hopeful elect. Those that chose life rather than death, man. The ones that chose Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you know, rather than the God of this world, man, which would be Esau, man, and the ways of Esau. All right. And it says, go through the midst of the city, go through the midst of Jerusalem, which is a people, man, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof, man. And again, the ones that's choosing this mark are those ones that's sighing and crying, man, against the abominations of this place, against the death of this place, the wickedness of this place, you know. But meanwhile, 2/3 of our people, like as a previous precept brought out, they are in agreement with this place, man, and the death and wickedness that goes on in this place. So they're not sighing and crying against it. They right along, cheering it on and indulging in it. Meanwhile, you got that hopeful elect that's sighing and crying against it, man. Again, that show you that divide, man. Life versus death. The two sides of this war, man. Again, that shows you, the two sides, life versus death, man. That hopeful elect is fighting for that life. And 2/3 of our people, they fighting and indulging in death, man. All right, because we sighing and crying against this place and abominations against this place. And not just Babylon, but on the whole earth, man. And Jake, 2/3, they just indulging right in it. They take pleasure in it. They take pleasure in unrighteousness. Because they are in agreements with this place. They have made a covenant with death. In verse 5, this is what's going to happen, man, to 2/3 of our people, who have made that covenant with death, man, who are in agreement with this place, And it says, and to the others, he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity, man. Slay utterly young and old, both maids and little children, and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. All right. So, and again, this is in the midst of Jerusalem, man, against you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. All right, those ones who chose death, and have made that covenant with death, and have forsaken life, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, shall get slayed, man. All right. It says, let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity, man. They're going to be slayed without pity. The young, the old, the men, the women, the children. All right. But those who chose life, and receive that mark of exemption, man, shall be spared from that destruction, shall be spared from that judgment, man, shall be protected against such things. All right. So the end reward of choosing death is death, man. And the reward for choosing life is, man, life, man. The kingdom, salvation. So again, 2/3 of our people, they on the wrong side of this battle, man. You know what I'm saying? The scripture said, Deuteronomy 20:19, therefore choose life. But you can clearly see that 2/3 of our people have chosen death, man, and are comfortable in doing so, man. They take pleasure in choosing death. All right, so this is Proverbs 21:16. The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead, man. All right. So again, 2/3 of our people, man, they have wandered out of the way of understanding, man. All right. Therefore, they are in the congregation of the dead, man. All right. Spiritually, but soon to be physically, man. And if you ever watch that show, The Walking Dead, it's about, zombie apocalypse and all that. But in that show, man, The Walking Dead, the zombies, literally, they are a walking dead, man. And what do? They just walk around devouring, you know what I'm saying? Spreading their death, their wickedness, in a sense. And that's exactly what 2/3 of our people do, man. They literally just walk around spiritually dead, man. um spreading their wickedness, spreading that death, completely disregarding life, just like the zombies in that show, man. They completely disregard life, man. You know, and that's 2/3 of our people, man. You know what I'm saying? They are in the congregation of the dead, that spiritual death that is about to be made physical very soon, man. All right. That's the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 8. And it says, even of late my people is risen up Salaki. Even of late my people is risen up as a enemy. All right. Ye pull off the road with the garment from them that pass by, securely as men averse from war, man. All right. And the main point I want to get is, even of late my people is risen up as a enemy, man. Because there is a spiritual warfare going on. All right. And how I stated earlier, man, 2/3 of our people have chosen the wrong side. All right. They have chosen death. They have chosen wickedness, man. They have chosen to forsake Yahweh Shemi Hawashah. Therefore, they have risen up as a enemy against him, man. And also his men, the hopeful elect, the women and children, the ones that are sincerely in his truth, following after Yahweh Shemi Hawashah and striving for righteousness and life rather than death. They have risen up as enemies against us. You know what I'm saying? Your family, your so-called friends, people you might have knew in the world before you came into this truth, man. They are enemies to the Lord, man. Therefore, they are an enemy unto you, because we are following after Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. All right. They have chosen death. Meanwhile, we have chosen life and strive for life, man. And they continue to wax worse and worse in death and in wickedness. All right. In con, man, this is just a lesson I wanted to do, man, on life versus death. All right. And how that hopeful elect, the ones that sincerely in this truth are the so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, and our people that's mixed amongst these other nations as well, sincerely striving after righteousness, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, aka life, are at war, man, with those who have chosen death, man, and wickedness, following after the God of this world, which is Esau, the so-called Caucasian race, man. All right, life versus death, man. And with that, I'm gonna say shalom.